Yeah, I guess we can start with blues. B-flat blues, do some old-timey improvising. Because improvising is really like a language. It's a language that transcends times, really. But we know when different things were more popular then, or, just different styles of music that there are. So what we're doing now is the blues, which everyone's familiar with that. So let's try it out. Let's stop for a second. So yeah, that was a blues. Give it up for Jeremy on the saxophone. And we're gonna get that groove back going again, but since this is a improvising class, we need to discuss what's going on a little bit and just understand the spirit of what we're doing. So I guess I could start off about a few words. Jazz definitely popularized the format of, soloing, where you pass it from instrument to instrument. Maybe the horn player will start a solo, pass it to the piano, pass it to the saxophone player. But in this particular type of music, there's different ways to express yourself using the chords. Even with that basic blues formula, there's different ways to approach the chords. Like you could approach it with a almost chromatic sense when it comes to those blues type of you could say licks or riffs or whatever. And there's also the more bebop way, if you've ever heard of that style of music, where you hear Charlie Parker and John Coltrane and a lot of cats, modern and old, also use a chromatic approach based upon the chords. Like if we're dealing with a B-flat 7, they take those same basic chord tones and they approach them chromatically to get different sounds. And the more you practice it, and the more you might be able to hear it.
All right, so we're gonna go back to the blues progression, and we're gonna demonstrate first. We're gonna demonstrate soloing or improvising over the blues progression using just the blues scale. All right, and then we're gonna go over it. We're gonna solo playing in a more bebop traditional way. How about that? All right, so Sam, how about you walk Yayo and Sam play the 12-bar blues progression for us. They're gonna play a very basic form of the blues. This is just dealing with 3 chords: the 1 chord, the 4 chord, and the 5 chord. Make it obvious. that's the 12-bar blues progression. Now play that again. Now this time we're gonna count the bars, okay? So what we have is the 1 chord for 4 measures, right? Then it changes to the 4 chord for 2 measures, all right? And then it goes back to the 1 chord for 2 measures, 5 chord for 1 measure, 4 chord for 1 measure, and then back to the 1 for 2 measures. So let's try that and count. 1, 2, ready, go. 1 chord, 2, 4 bars. Now 4 chord for 2 bars. Now back to the 1 for 2 bars. Now 5 chord for 1 bar, 4 chord, 1 chord, 2 bars. All right, now stop. All right, so now everybody, that's pretty obvious. Now we can understand that. So now what we're gonna do is what usually we do as beginners. If you're a beginner and you first start improvising over a blues progression, a basic blues progression, we start out using the blues scale. The blues scale, Yael, you play the B-flat blues scale for us. Now that's the blues scale. Now this is the interesting thing about the blues scale. Some of those notes in the blues scale are not in the chord, right? Play a B-flat 7 chord. B-flat 7 chord has 1, the B-flat, a D, F, and an A-flat. Now, the B-flat blues scale has a D-flat in it. Play the D and the D-flat at the same time. Yeah, play that. Now that's tension. That sounds weird, right? Play that. That's what you might hear sometimes when you play a B-flat blues scale over that chord. Now just play the chord in the left hand and solo with the blues scale in the right hand. But it sounds good, right? It sounds good. That's the interesting thing about jazz. It's not like classical music. In classical music, when you write parts out like that, there are times when you're not allowed to do that. The rules say that that's not allowed. But in jazz, some of those same rules don't apply. So right now, Yael is about to break the rules and play a B-flat blues solo using the blues scale over that progression. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. That sounded good. Yeah. Y'all think that sounds good? All right, cool. So that's kind of how it works. There are rules, but in jazz, the rules can always be broken depending on how well you understand music. So it's like this. If you understand how to build a house, a small basic house, from that basis, you can understand how you can build a mansion, right? Based on your own mind, your own research, you can figure that out from the basic knowledge. The basic knowledge is the blues, but we understand that we can build a house using some extra, materials. So that's pretty much how jazz works. It's based off of classical music to a degree. It does come from classical music in a sense, but it's done in a way to where we take the basis and we stretch everything and we try things that don't work well if you think about writing it out, but if you listen to it, it's all about the sound. So jazz is more about the sound than it is being correct or writing something to be exact. So we're gonna demonstrate again. Now this time we're gonna play it a little bit longer. I'm a solo, and we still just using the basic blues scale right now. We're not changing nothing. All right, let's try that again. We'll pick it up a little bit faster this time. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Give it up. Yeah, so that was blues. Believe it or not, it seemed like a lot of things was being played there, but it's only using one scale. And that scale has 6 notes in the scale.